Here we go. I think one of the biggest things that we don't talk about a lot in relationships is the emotional investment that we put into people, right? Because it's easy to say you should, like, in that relationship, you should leave that person, move on. But I think what makes it hard for people to move on, hard for people to leave that relationship, is the emotional investment that we put into people. I think that because we had so much good times and bad times, so much stress, so much time trying to make this thing right and make this thing work, it's hard to move on from things like that, right? It's hard to say, well, to just stop, quit, and start over with somebody new, or just try to find somebody new and try to build that emotional investment again. Because I feel like that's harder than building your physical body, is to give up everything you did and put into a person. And what really sucks is you play into that delusion of saying that, well, I leave, they might find somebody better, and everything I wanted them to do for me, they're going to do for somebody else, right? Playing into that idea that I put too much into it, it has to work. And if I leave, would I ever find somebody like this again, or find somebody that I can invest my time, energy, and mental effort into? Do what I want to. And I think that as much as we talk about a lot of the toxic things that go in relationships, I think the emotional investment we don't talk enough about, because how much that go into making a relationship work. Because that investment that you make into a person, by caring, by showing up every day, by committing, by communicating, all these things, and that not being enough for that person, or the relationship is not going the way you want it to go, can be super draining or super fulfilling, depending on how good the relationship is or could be. Because one of the things that I hate sometimes about what makes relationships hard is when people are hot and cold in relationships, or when people are not, when you communicate how you feel, when you communicate how you're trying to move from certain situations, and they don't get it, or they're not really trying to get it, right? And it feels like that you're the only person, like y'all in a boat, but you're the only one paddling and stuff like that. And so how can we fix it? One of the things I feel that a lot of people do is try not to care as much. And that might be a video for another day, but the idea of just being nonchalant. Because if I don't put too much emotional investment, it'll be easy for me to move out the way. And I think the problem with that is we don't really get to know the person fully, because we are afraid to put that much stock into it just in case it doesn't work. And I get that, because I understand that nobody wants to get hurt. And that's the name of the game. Who's gonna really take that emotional investment first? Like, who's gonna bet on this first to see if it works, right? Because it's like that push and pull game, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna see who gonna, bet on this first type thing. But what I really wanna harp on is, that's what takes the courage, right? To say, you know what, I'm gonna go out on a limb and see how it works. If it doesn't work, I know I'm gonna be fine. I know it's gonna probably hurt if it doesn't work, but I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to go on a limb and see. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it comes from the person that's sitting back and just playing it cool all the time. Like, we're gonna see how that works, you know what I mean? But I just feel like that's something that we don't talk enough about. How the emotional toll, the emotional investment it takes to really make a relationship work. And when it doesn't work, and trying to get back on that saddle, is a different type of monster, and it is tired that we don't talk about enough.